Peace.
Peace.
This is Jahshamel Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real2reel360. K-Wise.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real2reel360 show. Let's get it in.
We do the knowledge of wisdom so you can understand. Real360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to born. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace to Allah's mighty 5% nation, the gods and earths. To all the human families of the planet Earth, I bid you a love, peace, and happiness high salute. This is DJ K-Wise, a.k.a. Kato, one half of the Real2reel360 show. And we got an episode banger for you. It's been a long time coming, but I ain't going to spoil it. I'm just going to let it be known. I'm going to bring on my co-host with the most so we can get this thing flowing and going, because I know the phone line's going to be packed, but only one going to get through at a time. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring up my co-host with the most, Mr. Jahshamel, a.k.a. Mr. PhD himself. What's going on, baby?
Peace, God. How you?
Oh, man, maintaining, yo, you know it's an explosive one tonight.
Yo, before we jump into it, make sure that I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. But today's episode, from my understanding, from all the phone calls and texts and inboxes and stuff that I've got, this is for the ladies. This is, you know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, fellas, this is for the ladies. We have this 90s 2000 sex symbol that just came on to the show. He's one of the 90s R&B artists. He's still singing, he's still performing, he's still touring. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Tony Terry. What's going on? Yes, sir. Yo, I tell you, it's funny, right? We got like a third co-host, and they wasn't able to come on. So before the show started, they had already started hitting with the comments, like, let's go, let's get it. So, but ladies, here he is right here. A lot of y'all been asking about when is he coming on, who, you know what I'm saying, when we gonna see him. We're here right now. We have Mr. Tony Terry right there. And you see it's already starting, talking about he's looking good. See, this is show us for the ladies. This has nothing to do with you gentlemen right now. Yes,
sir.
But Mr. Terry, we'd like to allow you to introduce yourself to the ladies and introduce you to some of our fans and followers, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, I'm Tony Terry. I am a son first. I'm a husband. I'm a son, a brother, a husband, a dad, granddad. I make a living singing. Music has taken me around the world. I'm so grateful for that.
Mr. Terry, I think I read somewhere it said you were from the DMV area.
Well, I grew up in DC, yeah.
You grew up in DC?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's a Carolina-born boy.
Yeah, but I'm a Carolina-born. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Has the go-go sound or anything like that been influential in your music?
Very much so. My very first single was go-go influenced. She's Fly. Then kind of the second one was too, Lovey Dovey. And I've done maybe 4 or 5 go-go records independently since the major label days that have become underground classics there in DC. If I go to DC, you got to do the go-go. And once you go, you can't go back. You got to stay in it.
Right. So, DC is known for go-go and mambo sauce.
Mambo sauce? What you know about that, son? I was just telling somebody that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because I'm in the DMV area right now as we speak.
If somebody if I'm somewhere in the world and somebody says, y'all got any mambo sauce? You from DC.
You from DC. Definitely. But what was it like your first time on stage performing your own song, not a cover?
Okay, all right, okay, that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, my very first time was in New York at a place called the Red Parrot, and I walked down the stairs.
Yeah,
I get almost to the stage, and I slip and fall. My very first show.
wow.
I remember that.
Yeah, the Red Parrot used to jump back in the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you perform your songs, do you realize how much that honestly your voice takes command over the female audience? Because
you know, I'm gonna say this about that. You know, some brothers get a big ego when their music affects people, like, you know, in a very intimate way. But for me, I think that's a spiritual thing. You know, to be able to affect someone emotionally with your voice or with your music, that's spiritual, and I have to give God the glory for that.
Now, like I said, our third co-host asked the question: what made you get into music and become a performer?
I've been performing literally as long as I can remember. I've been singing, and you know, at one point we had a family group with my sister and 2 cousins. And they kind of fell off. You know, they didn't really want to pursue music. They did other things, but I just stayed in it. You know, I just didn't stop, and it just seemed like the next thing. Like I didn't have to decide that. Okay, all right, I'm gonna take this thing seriously. I'm pursuing this because this is what I want. It wasn't even like that for me. I just was always doing it. You know, I was singing in church somewhere. One time I was in 5 church choirs at the same time at 5 different churches, though. How about that? Yeah. You know, I just loved it, and I felt like I was having the time of my life. You know, learning, taking all that stuff in. So the next thing happened, and the next thing happened, and I got audition for this, audition for that, and I would get these gigs. I got an opportunity to record at a very early age, well, 14. You know, in Philly at Sigma Sounds.
What happened to the sound? Oh, he must have froze.
Yeah,
he froze up, man, when he was getting good, right?
Yeah. Peace and blessings, Q.
Yeah, something happened. I think you froze, Mr.
Now he can't hear. You went in and out, Tony. You might have to cut back off and come back in because your signal's gone.
Yeah, might have to come out and come in. Definitely.
Let me see if I can.
Let me see something. Let me see if I can take
type it in the private chat.
Peace. Can you hear us? You know, it might be every time we get one of these great artists, man, we end up having a situation. Hold on one second. We end up having a situation. So, yo.
In the private box, I told him to come out and sign back in. Yeah, I think he's going to do that. You muted. You muted.
Yeah, I was about to call him and tell him to do that. So we can definitely get back into it. But ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Tony Terry. He's going to log back in a minute. But like I said, you thought it was a game. It's no game.
It ain't no game.
It ain't no game. You know what I'm saying? It's not a game. Here we go. It's right here.
All
Mr.
right.
Terry, you can hear now?
Yeah, I'm back. All
right.
Well, I don't know what that was. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's little glitches. That's all. They trying to stop us from this interview. But the ladies ain't having it. So, you know, you got to come.
The devil is a lie. He's thinking he don't love Jesus.
But you were saying that you was in 5 different choirs in 5 different churches?
I was. And it was a little difficult because every Sunday all those choirs had to sing. So we worked it out though. I made most of them. You know, it was an effort, but you know, my family is, and has always been very supportive of me and my musical endeavors. They just always have. They knew that I wanted it, that I was serious about it. They believed in me. So whatever opportunity came for me to do something that had to do with the entertainment industry, and even when I got an opportunity to go to the Ellington School of the Arts and really started getting it then, I started getting the fundamentals, the things that were going to take me through my career in terms of my work ethic and just jumping in and getting the work done. And I've never been afraid to work.
I gotta ask this because I don't know if you may know this, but I think you made history because, to my knowledge, back when the 80s coming into the 90s New Jack Swing era, you were the only male R&B artist that's redheaded outside of Redhead Kingpin for R&B. I don't think I remember anybody else but you as being redheaded in the R&B field. He froze again, Ja.
Yeah, I see.
Did you hear me, Mr. Terry?
Yeah, you got to man. You got to do it again. You got to do it again.
Yeah. I really thought about that. There was no other artist in the R&B genre that was redheaded in the male spectrum. Only other person was Redhead Kingpin and Red Alert back in the day.
Right.
That time.
I never even thought about it on that level.
What is going on with this technology, man?
I don't know, man, because it's definitely hitting you, man.
Yeah.
I lost y'all again.
Terry, no, we good. We good. You good?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, Lynn, I see. Yeah, absolutely. He was the only one in the R&B genre that is redheaded and made such a stormful impact when he came on.
Let's see. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Mr. Terry, who was your greatest influence when it came down to music?
You froze again.
Me?
Who was your greatest influences when it came down to music? No, he froze.
Yeah, he froze. Yeah, damn.
Something going on. Oh man, this is the wrong time for that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that we have illustrious artists coming through, and powers that be just trying to mess it up. But if they do, all we're gonna do is reschedule it again. So we're not gonna. But we don't want to disappoint y'all. But listen, we got them, and we keep getting them.
We get the best.
This man right here. This man right here be getting them.
You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Let's try.
It's not fair, man. We're gonna have to do this interview over again, man. We have to do a do-over.
Right, we got to, bro. We got to. We were just telling the fans that we're gonna have to reschedule and try to get something together. But we wanted to let the fans at least get a chance and opportunity to see you. Because a lot of people was like, yo, y'all got Tony Terry? Y'all got Tony Terry? I'm like, man, yeah, man, we got the great Tony Terry.
Okay. That's what's up.
I don't know if he heard what I said earlier.
I did not. That's when you froze. That's when you were saying.
Okay. I was saying that you actually made history in other ways than just vocally singing. Back in that day, you were the only male R&B genre singer who was redheaded. The only other redhead guys out there was Redhead Kingpin and DJ Red Alert.
That's right.
You are only male solo artist that killed the game.
We froze again.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, my.
He's gone again. He's frozen again. We definitely going to have to bring this back.
Definitely going to have to reschedule this here, man.
For sure.
This is so
crazy. Okay. All right.
We in here.
All right. I don't know what's up with this stuff.
I don't know, bro.
Nah, man.
You got a strong signal where you at.
Yeah, I got a very strong signal.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. Sometimes that's Facebook.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Facebook.
I think it's StreamYard. I think it's the app that's.
I think.
StreamYard, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, I was a redheaded kid. My dad was a redheaded kid. And the older I've gotten, it has gotten a little brown. I let the little hot top fade go. I tried it again. And my hair will grow. I tried it again. I rocked it for a couple of months, but I was like, nah, man, it's too much work. It's too much work. Got to keep that jump clipped every couple of days.
Right. So, Mr. Terry, who was your greatest influence when it came down to music?
Wow, that is a good question, because I know that I am the sum of all the people that I have ever studied. Now, who is that? That list is really long. It goes from Donny Hathaway to Peebo to the Whispers to Glenn Jones, Howard Hewitt, of course the Jacksons, the Osmonds. Mm-hmm. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And okay, so I had this thing where I had a closing play. It's by Fisher Price. Closing play, record player. What y'all know about a closing play, man? Y'all don't know nothing about no closing play, man.
I had two of them. Was trying to be a DJ back then.
You had two closing plays.
I had a mad mix for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
That's what's up. Yeah, so I had my closing play and I loved it. I would go to sleep with it. You know, so I'd play my records and I'd literally be listening to music all night. I would wake up, flip the record over, and play the other side. Flip it over, play the other side. I mean, I would get punished. I would literally get in trouble because I wouldn't turn the music off until my parents just gave up, because they knew I was never going to turn the music off, and they stopped punishing me.
Oh, well, there's a comment that says you have all those music influences, but your voice is like no other.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, everyone's interpretation of a lyric, you know. So I want to know, like, even right now, I'm recutting Friends of Distinction. You got me going in circles. You got me going in circles. Yeah. I'm like in the midst of it as we speak. And what I did was I listened to every version of it that's ever been commercially available. And I even scoured YouTube for, you know, just people singing the song at karaoke bars or whatever. Because I wanted to do the definitive version of the song. So I took like what I liked out of each version. Luther's version, Uncle Charlie did a version, of course, the original version. And I found a couple of really stellar performances of karaoke versions. People that just blew me away. Wow. So I took elements out of all of those and then sprinkled a little me in there and came up with a whole other rendition of the song that I hope people will like. I don't know. I think it's dope. I'm actually really happy with it. And I'm very, very, very critical of myself. Extremely.
Mm-hmm.
You would like to say for our timeline, because there was no other voice like yours. As much as all the other R&B artists, but you were very distinctive. Your voice and sound was unique, like none other.
What was interesting about that was, you know, when I started, I was originally signed to Capitol Records, right? Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to sing Nat King Cole's catalog.
He froze.
Oh,
he froze.
Right when I was ready for this story.
Yeah. He froze, and it got to be StreamYard, because there's no way.
Yep. You know what they got. You know what they got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We back? Okay. Good.
Yeah, we're back.
Yep. So, you know, Capitol wanted me to sing Nat King Cole's catalog, right? I was 18. I was like, Nat King Cole? No. But, you know, in hindsight, being 2020, if I had a mentor or somebody helping me navigate at that time, I probably would have done it, because I didn't realize that Nat King Cole had literally built Capitol Records. His music built Capitol Records. And it would have been quite the shoes to fill to do his music and present it to the world, you know, with that very youthful interpretation. But I didn't do it. And the guy who signed me to Capitol Records got fired before we did anything, really. So I didn't belong to anybody. You know how the music industry was. It's different now. much worse. But like the A&R people, that they were looking for artists that they were bringing to the label, that it made them look good. So if you came to the label and there were other artists there, that wasn't really your priority. So that's what happened to me. And the gentleman that signed me to the label, and of course then people that worked at record companies would just go from one label to the other label. They just rotate. So if you get fired from one label, you get hired at another label. So this guy got hired at Epic Records, and he convinced them to take a look at me. So at the time, they had Michael going strong, Michael Jackson. They had Luther going strong. They had Tina Marie going strong. They had Mariah Carey on the Columbia side going strong. All this was under the Sony umbrella, but in the same building. And then they had a couple of other artists that came and went. But with me, I knew that they wanted me to be there, but I also knew that they had no idea of what to do with me, especially since they had all these artists that had already, proven themselves. And then, here I am, and I have to prove myself. I'm like the new kid on the block. Right. When my first single hit, which was She's Fly, it affected them in a way like they were actually surprised. It was like, oh, okay, we might have to take this kid seriously. Because when I went to shoot the video for She's Fly, I didn't even know I was going to shoot a video. I just happened to have on this leather jacket, the t-shirt, and the jeans.
He froze it.
Yo, man, as soon as the story get good,
it's
crazy.
Because I was about to say, I know he better mention that bracelet.
Okay, we back.
He got to mention that bracelet.
Yeah, that bracelet.
And the bracelet. The bracelet. So we were in LA, and they took me to this studio, and we were shooting a video. I didn't know, so everything that I did, I was freestyling because, I can dance if I'm choreographed, but I can't boogie. Yeah, I mean, I can't get down with the get down. I'm the king of the two-step.
Hey, I think we all got that going on.
So, they were just like, have fun. And then they had this young lady on the set who, in all honesty, in my opinion, was not a fly girl. She wasn't a fly girl. She was kind of corny, actually, and not the girl that I would have chosen to be. I hope you're not watching this video, young lady. Your performance was wonderful. It was wonderful. It really was. But I wouldn't have chosen her. And the whole.
Oh man. He keep freezing. Like, yo, I think we're gonna have to redo this whole thing. This is
definitely
crazy.
will. We definitely will, man.
Definitely. I see Dr. Harris is in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna get this thing done. Yeah.
We have individuals out here saying that she's your number one fan. She's in the building. Like I told you, they just starting to come now.
What's up, number one?
Dr. Angela Harris, the number one fan in the building.
So you were saying she wouldn't been your pick, but
no, she would not have been my pick. That whole thing, again, I didn't know I was going to shoot a video. We were there, and this whole thing had been planned apparently without my knowledge. And we just went in, and I was just moving around, and a lot of things like that kind of happened. Like even the first line of She's Fly, when it says, "Hey, you got me jumping, beautiful body," right? That was actually a stutter. Like I don't stutter. But I was in the booth singing the song, and it just came out like that. Like,
wow.
So Ted Currier, the producer, he was like, "Oh, we're keeping that." I was like, "No, man, we can't keep that."
And he froze.
Oh, right on the good part of that, man.
Yo,
Dr. Harris, what's good, darling? Welcome.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying to him that, no, man, that was a mistake. You can't keep it. He was like, "You are nuts if you think I'm going to erase that." He did, and it ended up being the opening line of the record.
And that was fly.
yeah.
I really thought you rocked it like that. I was like, oh, he got the.
Then I had to learn how to do that. Then I had to learn how to do it. Beautiful. Yeah, it took me a minute to get it, but yeah.
But you've worked with a lot of artists. But the one thing that I did notice out of one of the videos, you actually did the Blair Underwood had a cameo with you in your video.
Well, Blair actually directed that video. It was his. It was his directorial debut. That was the first thing he had ever directed, and that happened by way of Anita Baker. And maybe you have heard that story about how that came to be. She called me up and was asking me about the video. I didn't know Anita Baker at the time. Mm-hmm. I knew who she was. I was a fan of her music, but I didn't know her. She was on another label, and she called me. She called me at my manager's office, and I would not have even normally gotten the call. But the receptionist that worked for us was, I guess, had gone to the bathroom or something. She wasn't at her desk. And I answered the phone. I just answered the phone. It was her. And I the whole time I was talking to her, I didn't really believe I was talking to Anita Baker. Because if I let myself believe it, then I would have fanned out. I would have had a fan moment. You know? Right. I was like, okay, yeah, this is Anita Baker. Okay, whatever. All right. So the conversation went on, and she asked me about why she hadn't seen the video for the song. And I told her that my label, Epic, did not think that With You was a hit record. So there wasn't going to be a video. I knew they just were not going to spend the money. And so she did. She gave me the money, which I think was unprecedented. I don't think that's ever happened before, that an artist from another label would, foot the bill for another artist just to further along his career. And that happened. And when With You began to blossom, no one, well, I knew, because they called me in for a meeting and said, and Dave, being the president of Epic Records at the time, had called me in for a meeting and to tell me that this was not a good idea. In fact, this could derail the little progress that we have made. We had already had She's Fly, we had Lovey Dovey, we had Forever Yours, we had Head Over Heels, and now it was like, okay, it's my turn, and this is what I choose. So I wasn't hearing anything. I was like, nah, nope. We're sticking with this song. So when they released With You to radio, they released it with a plain white label that was handwritten. The information on it was handwritten. My name, the name of the song, I think might even been in pencil on the label, and they delivered the record to radio then that way. Now, back in the day, there was about 40 major labels, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 40 major record companies. That's 40 people that represent those labels going to, let's say, R&B radio, and to get their record added. And there's only a slot for maybe 3 or 4 songs that week. But there's 40 guys trying to get their records on. I mean, their jobs depend on getting these records added. Uh-huh. And so in my mind, being delivered a vinyl that was plain or had some handwriting on it would have made it stand out above the rest. That was, what you saw every week. You see a stack of records, you go to your music meeting, y'all listen to the records, you decide what y'all gonna add or not add. But they delivered my record with, as I said, a plain label. And I think that probably made the record stand out. It was curious to people, and they played it. And it just started happening by itself. The label wasn't even chasing it. They weren't doing anything. But when that started happening, and then along came the video, it just took off. And then they were like, oh, we knew we had a brilliant artist all along. I was like, this is bananas, man. But I really understood at that moment that this was an ego-driven business, and that I had to play the game. Like I couldn't cause a ruckus about, nah, man, y'all hated the song. Y'all didn't even like it. I couldn't do any of that. I just had to play along. Okay, it was your idea. Great idea, guys. Glad y'all did that.
Now, one of Dr. Angela Harris asks, what 2 male R&B artists would you be in a trio with, or have you ever considered?
You know, I've always wanted to be in a what I guess be called a super group, and we've been tossing names around about who that might be, and most recently the names that came. I went to see Aaron Hall and Damien here recently, here in Atlanta, and I was just a spectator. You know, they're friends of mine. I just went to support, hang out. I was standing on the stage. I literally had no idea they were gonna call me out, you know, to sing. And you know I'm gonna wreck the building if I go. You know? No, but I went on stage and it turned out to be a phenomenal thing to do. And you know, so we tossed around the idea about, because you know they can't call themselves Guy,
right?
Because of what's going on with them,
right?
And so we've been tossing around this idea of me joining them and calling us New Guy.
You know, it's funny
y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do better than that.
But you know, with Damon, I knew Damon because you know they're from Long Island, and we are from the same hometown in Long Island. So that'd be a great look to see you and Aaron Hall on that mic. I don't think that it would definitely be a dry woman in the area. I think maybe they split themselves to death between you and Aaron. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man!
That brother.
You remember when they sung?
He can still go.
You remember when they sung Donny Hathaway's song for you? Did you ever hear them sing that together? Him and his brother.
Yeah.
Man, you talking about a dynamic song rendition they did. That's awesome.
Yeah, I actually recorded that song as well. Well,
I'm not. Well, Dr. Harris want to know what's your workout schedule routine, because she says you stayed in shape over the years.
I have stayed in shape. You know, it kind of it ebbs and flows. It depends on how busy I am or how hard I'm gonna work.
Right.
You know, if I'm out there getting it, then I gotta stay in shape, because part of it is stamina. And I'm no spring chicken. I'm gonna go ahead on and put that out there. So I have to stay in shape. You know, I have to, because you know I want to sell records. I want to stay employed, and I want to feel good. I want to feel like I can execute, you know, what I'm going to do, and just be able to stay on top of my game. So it's just been a part of my life for a very long time, just exercising. I'm a self-motivator when it comes to that. You don't have to tell me to go.
Yeah. How much of your catalog have you actually written yourself, and how much of you that you actually put into the music? Because I know a lot of times artists are inspired by certain things that make them put out certain songs, like you said, with you, Lovey Dovey, things of that nature.
Well, Lovey Dovey was the very first song I ever wrote, and I wrote it on the subway.
Wow. And he froze. Every time you get to his story, he freezes over. You know what I'm saying?
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Real2reel360 with Tony Terry.
All right.
That's it.
All right. So I was saying that Lovey Dovey was the first song I wrote, and I wrote it on the 1 train in New York.
Right.
Going to my very first recording session for Epic Records, or trying to find songs, and I was writing, this song, and Lovey Dovey popped into my mind, and I'm thinking, I'm writing the words. I used to think that love was so silly then, all that kissing and stuff, and then I erase it. Like, no, that is whack. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna do it. And I rip it out my book, ball it up, and all I could write was, I used to think that love was so silly. That's the only thing that would come to me. So I went with it, and when I got to the session, the producer was blasting a track that he was working on, but I was able to sing the lyrics and the melody that I had just written to this track that I was hearing through the door, and it fit perfectly. Like, this track was supposed to go to these words that I just wrote. So I started banging on his door like I was the law or something, and he comes out, and I said, "What is that you're working on?" And even before I introduced myself, what is that you're working on? I just wrote the song, man, and it fits. And he says, well, let's hear it. What you got? We go straight to the microphone, man, and record what would be the final vocals. That session, which was supposed to be demos, I recorded the final vocals for Lovey Dovey. And that track was actually being worked on for In Vogue. I was like, they don't have to know. They'll be all right. Just In Vogue.
Now, who outside of, Aaron, who was the artist that you wanted to collab with that you didn't?
Well, on the iconic side, Roberta Flack.
Wow.
I was always mesmerized by that tone that she has, and that straight tone, like no vibrato. She's just able to sing these songs, and she just put the vibrato in where she wanted it, which said to me that she was in control of it. So I wanted to know how to be in control of my vibrato, to sing a straight line with no you know what I mean? The difference in the tone. And so, and then her voice is really, really, really small. So the band had to play funky under her, not overpower her. So I learned a lot about music dynamics, presentation, because in the beginning, I was coming out on 10. I'd come out the gate on 10, and be exhausted by song number 2. But I learned a lot from being on. I was on tour with Roberta Flack for 10 years, and and watching her, with this really small voice come out and take that. And first of all, the audience would be just absolutely quiet because they wanted to hear everything, and then the show would go from this, and it would just go, and it would just go, and go, and it would just. By the time we were doing our last number, it was just a big old thing happening, and I loved it. And she and I had this musical magic thing that happened when we sang together, which is why I stayed for so long, because we weren't really friends, but we were musically married. We were supposed to sing together, and she felt like that, and so did I, and it was great. But of today's artists that I would like to sing with, Jahshamel Sullivan.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah. She kind of reminds me of Phyllis Hyman. She even has her look.
Yeah, actually, she does. Now that you mention it.
Yes. Yes.
I was with Phyllis Hyman 3 days before she transitioned, and I was really, really affected by that.
Yeah, peace and blessings to the queen.
Peace and blessings. Yeah, she's a great artist. We have a question. When are you going to come back to Charlotte for your fans in Charlotte?
Soon. Actually, I had been booked for the Charlie Wilson show. I'm doing like 4 or 5 days on the Charlie Wilson tour. The first one's coming up in November in, I think, Charleston, South Carolina. But it was supposed to be in Charlotte, and I'm not sure what.
Damn. Well, we're gonna see. As we say, ladies and gentlemen, that
and what you know about Phyllis Hyman.
Right.
No, he's back.
No, he got to come in.
I'm back at.
Yeah. So we always strive to bring you the best guests. We always strive to bring you what you're asking for. A lot of individuals have asked for Tony Terry. A lot of individuals have asked for Calvin Richardson. A lot of individuals asked for Melvin Riley. You know what I'm saying? And our co-host says she's just as old as you, sir. So I don't even know why she didn't get the link to come on to the show tonight.
Yeah. Why not?
Why she didn't come to work tonight? Why she didn't come to work?
Okay.
Why people talk to her people.
Now, will you be able to come to Charlotte, or you have something coming to Charlotte?
I don't know. I'd have to check the schedule. I never know when or where I'm going to be. I just like, if you ask me what I'm doing next weekend, I usually work Thursday through Sunday, but I have no idea where I'm going until I get my boarding pass. I don't even ask.
Hey, so when you coming to get the mambo sauce?
Hey, man, I was just there recently, and I had some mambo sauce. I went to Eddie's, you know what I mean?
Went out to the carryout.
Yeah, I was recently at City Winery there, and then I came and played. Like a couple of days later, I played the Bethesda Jazz and Blues. Where I did a Marvin Gaye tribute show. That was amazing. It was great. Now, every opportunity that I get to come back to DC, I do it. But it's so different than it was when I grew up there. You know?
Of course. A lot of things have changed.
Absolutely.
Whereas DC is becoming more gentrified every day.
Absolutely. It is no longer Chocolate
City. It's not the swirl. It's none of that.
None of that.
None of that.
I used to perform at the Junction off of Georgia Avenue 7.
I used to live off Georgia Avenue and Park Road.
Yeah, I used to perform out there back in the day.
Yeah, man. My very first gig in DC was at the Penthouse on Georgia Avenue.
Wow.
I was opening up for the Shy-Lights. I was 14.
So, you know what? So you do know about cutting the old records out of the back of the cereal box and playing.
Of course, I used to put them joints on my clothes and play, man. Stop it. Yeah, man. Of course, absolutely.
A lot of people don't remember them days.
I do. I sure do.
Now, there's a question from one, I guess. Again, what new male singers in general are missing? What are they missing? And what?
Wow, that's a good question. What are they missing? They're missing creativity. They're missing passion. They're missing imagination. Wow. You know, the lyrics that are on a lot of the music that I hear today would have gotten an artist dropped and blacklisted in the 80s. You can't say that. But today's music leaves very little, if anything, to the imagination. They say everything. And like, I was in the car and I heard some, questionable words in a record that was being played during drive time.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. I mean, yeah, man. It's R&B is not what it has become something else. Like the world still wants R&B music, but somehow they don't want it from us.
Right.
We have a caller.
They want it from the others.
We have a caller?
Yeah, we actually have a caller. Let's find out. Okay. Caller, how you doing? You on the air with Real2reel360. State your name and where you from.
This is Margot Thunder. I'm from Boston,
Massachusetts. Oh, we got the infamous Margot Thunder. How you doing?
From 9.9.
Great.
Margot Thunder.
I'm loving you guys with Tony Terry.
Yes. Tony, this is Margot Thunder. You familiar with Margot?
I'm not, but it sounds like I must go and Google Miss Margot Thunder.
Oh.
I just want to call in and say you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. She's calling to say we're doing a great job. And do you have anything you'd like to say to Tony?
Tony, you got to go back to the old school sisters like Margot Thunder and do some music with myself.
All right, so you're an artist? I didn't know that.
Okay, because that's 9.9. She was with the group 9.9 back in the 90s.
The 80s.
Okay.
Come on.
The 80s. Yeah, the 80s.
That's what's up.
It was the 80s.
Right. Okay, all right. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, well, thank you for calling in, Margot. We look forward to having you back on the show sometime soon. I know you got some new stuff. You got to send it our way.
I sure will, but I'm just wishing Tony all the best. I'm glad to hear some real singing out there. I was listening to his comment about people and their passion for music. And, it's like we need to go back and remember where we came from. I got a chance to teach a class at Berkeley School of Music last week. And, I brought some old school Marvin Gaye and took the kids on a journey. So
yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, Tony. We need
Thank you. I appreciate
that.
Take
care, Margot.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, definitely. That was Margot Thunder from the group 9.9.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Back in the day, they had a few hits back in the day. And right now she's going a solo, so she's doing a thing. Also, too, Miss Suki said that a lot of these artists need to be less sexual and more sensual.
Yeah. I mean, there's no romance You know, back in the day, at least, I don't know how old you guys are, but, you know, I'm pretty up there.
I ain't too far behind.
You know, we used to listen to the radio, have your cassette ready in the cassette recorder. When your joint come on, that say what you want to say to your girl, you record it, and then you make her a tape of all the songs that said kind of how you felt, right?
Right.
You know, that was about romancing. You know, that was about, we had to sing songs of passion and, you know, genuine love songs. But this song that I'm working on, Going in Circles right now, I let a youngster hear it. He was like, yeah, but you know, we ain't singing like that, Unc. We put all them harmonies.
Oh man, see that? Hey, ain't you? All right, Q. All right, Q.
But you know what, man? It's all good because he spoke real truth about it. He spoke real truth. What's lacking, and that's another thing. It's lacking. What's lacking in the R&B world is the passion, the love, the creativity of something without having to already just destroy goodness. You know what I'm saying? You know, put it to the mind, to the imaginary mind of thought, and bring back the love instead of the lust. As you always say, they put lust over love and don't know the difference. They don't know the real deal. Let me bring it back.
We're back.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're back. But like we're saying, like we always talk about it. Like Kay was saying, that I always say that they put the lust over love. They don't know how to date anymore or know how to court women. He froze again. They don't know how to date, court women. Like majority of the time when you talk to a young lady now, it's kind of hard because if you're from the old school, you're trying to court. You know what I'm saying? You're listening to different music and this is what it is. They're not used to that. They're not used to individuals courting.
No, man. They're not used to a gentleman opening a door for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've done that several times, and the lady won't even so much as look at you. It just seems like just I don't know what's going on with that.
You forgot your manners, young man?
With our people today, we just really have to come back from that place.
Absolutely.
It seems like we've gone to that place where no man has gone before.
And they need to come back.
You need to come back, man. You know,
we got a question. We got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see do a remake to your song with you? And who would do you justice to you? Who do you think would do justice to your song?
I don't know. You know, it is interesting that no one has ever attempted to do it.
That means something. That means something.
Maybe. You know, some songs are. You know, once there are those songs that once they've been done, they've been done.
Exactly.
You know,
I told you, I gave you my example of what I tried to do, and I got knocked in the head.
Yeah.
You know, it's different because the music now, like With You and Lovey Dovey, it was about being with someone, loving them and trying to love them. This music nowadays isn't about loving them. It's about
love, bro.
It's about sexing them.
It's about sexing. It really is.
And it's just getting to the point where it's sad because females are becoming numb and sex don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact that I don't know if we want to go down this road right now.
We can. We truly can.
I mean, you know, it seems as if our young ladies would rather spend their let's say 20s in the club,
right?
Then, you know, maybe in their mid 30s, they might start to become interested in settling down. Well, you know, when my mom and them were coming up, they were being married off at 18, 17.
Right.
But they were also taught how to be a wife. The things that we take for granted. And I'm not suggesting that, you know, that there are these defined roles in terms of keeping the house, but there are some defined roles with regard to husband and wife,
Right.
and there are expectations
Mm-hmm.
as a wife, and there are expectations as a husband. And if you're considering being married, you should probably look up what that means. What are the requirements of being married?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what does it mean? Because really, it's an act of selflessness. Because once you become married, whatever you're doing is no longer about you. It's about y'all. And then when you have a family, it's about your family. Everything is about, the well-being of your family. I just think that our goals, our intentions have shifted slightly. A lot of our young ladies have been taught that they don't need a man, which is really bad.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you do.
Yeah.
Because you can't procreate without one.
Definitely.
You need a man. And then well, this is an important for me. And I say this in my shows a lot, that I think that, we're, as it relates to couples, that we're responsible for each other. But, our men, first of all, we don't talk to each other, right? We're like, we're all an island, and we have to, and I think it starts at home, like with raising children. I think that our women should create a safe place, if you're in a relationship, for your guy to be vulnerable without judgment. Because check this out. You are your mom and your dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
So if you're your mother, then that means you have the same emotions, same feelings. You might even share some things directly from your mother. You might be particularly sensitive to, but we have been conditioned that as men, we can't be that. The only thing we can show is anger. Because if we show happy, we show teeth, we soft.
Right.
If we machismo, no smiling in the picture, Thug don't smile. No smile. No, we can't show anything other than anger. And I don't think that's cool at all. I really don't. I honestly believe that it takes a big man to let his pain show. And a bigger man to let his pain go.
Right. Definitely.
True that. I am so glad you said that, because I want to ask you this. Now, out of all the songs I've listened to you sing and on your albums, the one that stands out to me most is All I Have. And the video, when I finally got a chance to see the video, I understood with All I Have, because everything that you're talking about right now was actually in your voice, in your song, and love and showing family.
Your love is all I need.
Yeah. And you had your wife in the video as well and everything. So I thought that was dynamic. And so what decided you to do all that to create that song?
Well, again, when I sing, if I didn't write it, it's someone else's song, I want to know the story behind it. Because I gotta connect to it. And I have to sell it, if you will, in my performances to people. And so I need to know the backstory. The backstory to With You is really interesting. When the very first time I heard With You, before I even finished the first play, I stopped it and said, when we're going to record it. But I also asked Raymond Reeder, who is the writer, tell me what's the story. And he said, such and such a person. And I said, yeah. Well, let me tell you how I knew her. Because in my mind, she was my girl. Okay. And we went to school together. We went to high school together. So I'm like, yeah, I know her. Why? He actually wrote the song about her because he had a crush on her. He didn't know I had a crush on her. I didn't know he had a crush on her. But he wrote this song about the girl, the very same girl that we were both crushing on. And we laughed about that quite a bit. And then, of course, we told her, what it was all about. But, it was a song about someone that he was in love with her. So the lyrics came from like his heart, because to me, if it didn't come from here,
Right. Right. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. Because we're touching on a subject that I think that we have been
back?
talking. Yeah, we got right there. It is.
If it doesn't come from the heart,
Uh-huh.
you know, those lyrics aren't corny. When I'm with you, I hear a song. You can't drop that on nobody. You can't use that as a pickup line. You know, when I'm with you, I have everything I've ever. It's for real what I feel, baby. It don't even work.
Right.
You know what I mean? But because it really did come from a place of innocence,
authenticity,
of truth, and honesty, he genuinely felt that way. To me, that's why I was able to connect to it in a way that I'm able to deliver it night after.
And he froze. You know,
and what we got? We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, we got like 3-4 minutes left.
4 minutes.
He's
back. That I could deliver it night after night with the same kind of intensity, the same kind of passion. And now at this point, I don't even have to sing it, because by the time I get to when I'm with you, the audience takes over from there. I'm good.
No, Mr. Terry, like, I know we're coming to the end and we've been glitching and going back and forth. We would like to bring you back and correct some of these errors so we can get a good flush interview with you.
Yeah. We worked it out. We worked with what we had.
Right, we worked what we had.
Yeah, but we got to do better.
We got to do better.
We got to do better.
No, there's more. There's much more.
Yeah. We might have to take up a GoFundMe for SpeedGod. They can upgrade.
Well, yes, sir.
Yes,
well,
sir.
usually what we do after when we say, he always lets everybody know, Mr. Terry, you can stick around 2 minutes or just a few more minutes after the show so we can talk about some stuff behind closed doors and everything.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to let you know right now, the wonderful, dynamic vocal maestro himself, Mr. Tony Terry. We salute you for coming on. We thank you so much for granting us the time. You could have been somewhere else, but it was not robbery for you to come here with us. And I want to let you know right now, you don't have a home away from home. You got a home here.
Thank you, bro.
You have a home. So it's not without question. If there's anything that we can do on Real2reel360 for you, we'll be glad to do so. If any new music you want to come, I'll be glad to play it out on and distribute it whenever it's right. You say so, we're good. We would love to do an exclusive first joint time to hear it right here on our show. But we definitely want you to come back. You got to come back.
It'll be my pleasure, man. Thank you guys for having me, bro. Even with the technical issues, it was still, you know, the energy, the camaraderie. It's good. It was good. It is good. Not was good. It is good.
Yeah.
And I look forward to doing it again without the technical issues.
And I want to thank you for still doing what you're doing, is bringing the real R&B back, because today's R&B, and I'm going to say it, is rapping bull bloop. That's how I feel. Because I'm a true
I feel the same way, bro.
Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Terry, with all the things that you have going on, like you're working on new music, and we know you're working on new music.
Yeah.
And when will your next EP drop? Like,
very well, you know. Okay, so I was recently featured in an episode of Unsung, right? And they actually, you know, I had some reservations about participating in the whole Unsung thing, and the reason why was because they made it, at least my impression of the show was that they made it seem like the stars or the artists' best years are behind them.
Right.
And I don't think so. I don't think that. You know, there are a lot of amazing things on the horizon, opportunities that are presenting.
Yeah. My thing is, Kay, take us up out of here, Kay, because there's too many glitches to keep it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in and participating with us again and watching this episode of the Real2reel360 show. And we hope you enjoyed it, irregardless of the glitches and stuff that comes through, one thing's for sure certain, we still bring you the best content, the best people that we can, because we all about authenticity and we are all about original people doing things, bringing it back. Okay, you heard right from the mouth of him how the music of today's music and R&B is not like what it used to be, and we need to bring back the true love of R&B. And as long as we have gentlemen like Tony Terry and other artists who have that passion and drive to recirculate and reinvent the love of music like it should be, it will forever be phenomenal. Even if you love his song With You, if that's the only thing you know, believe this man has more. So we will keep going and keep supporting and keep driving hard. That's what we do. This is what love is about. Jock, could you let us know who we have coming up next before we end the show?
Next week we have Lala's Bedtime Tales.
That's gonna be something.
That's gonna be something.
Hey Tony, if you ain't doing anything on October 31st, tune into the show for this one, because we gonna
sound like I need to.
we gonna need some help.
We have Calvin Richardson Experience, brother singer, Southern Soul singer Calvin Richardson.
That's a brother right there, man. I got a lot of love for Calvin.
Yes, right, and also next week we will have again Shalakima back on to discuss, you know what I'm saying, the relationship between men and women. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Real2reel360. We always keep it real. You see Tony Terry right there. KYs, take us up out of here, love.
Absolutely. Like to give a big shout out and salute to all the 5% Nation, the gods and earths, to all the human families of the planet Earth. I give you a love, peace, and happiness high salute. I want to thank again our special guest, Tony Terry, coming on. Much love, my brother, to you and your family. And we look forward to seeing you, having you back on the show again.
Yeah, man. Same.
All right. So just stick around for a few minutes and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Peace.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to come to the end of the show. And I want to take the time out and thank our guests for coming on. Also, too, we want to make sure that y'all listening and subscribing, and tell a friend and tell a friend, and keep sharing, because we're going to keep bringing y'all the real content. So, DJ KY, brother, take us up out of here, son. Peace.
The people, man, woman, and child of the human, not first. It's time for us to disperse. We bring the best, not the worst. We thank you once again for tuning in to the Real360. Bring a friend to hit that like and subscribe, so we continue to grow to bring more knowledge and wisdom to you. Upon our show, you make it possible for us to do what we do. Now it's time I end it just the way I bring it.